my god, I forgot that you gave me a MeUndies gift card and I finally used it last night.
What did you get?
I got a pair of underwear and a pair of socks. Those socks were $18. $18 for a pair of socks?
Were they like long, big, thick socks?
No, they're ankle socks.
What? Do you not have a membership anymore?
Oh, no, not the subscription.
That makes sense. But still,
I don't pay that much for my socks.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey guys, welcome. I'm Abby.
And I'm Shawna.
And I almost forgot to say
Your name.
my name. This is Anxious,
And Afraid.
the podcast.
Where we talk into mics and talk about terrible things.
Yeah, if I can remember to say them.
Same girl.
Welcome.
We are not profesh. That is the brand that we're selling.
Oh, it's a brand that we are loyal to. and
Not
stick
knowing what
to.
we're doing.
Hot Mess Express.
Yes, that's us. Welcome.
Welcome, all.
So what's up with you, Abby?
What is
What's been making you anxious or afraid?
so many things, but I guess
The world's a little nuts.
oh god, we had a dark week, but I guess I'll focus on something that's not so dramatic. But this morning, I decided to do the daunting task of switching all of my winter clothes out for my summer clothes.
It's getting warm, girl.
Because we live in Oregon where there is definite season changes. You can't have the same
Even within a
wardrobe.
day.
Yeah, you can't have the same wardrobe all year round, so you got to switch them out. Or at least I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate doing that because it's all in a big tote. And
It's a big chore.
It's such a chore. And so I was going through it and I was like, there's so many clothes at the bottom of this tote that just keeps growing because I refuse to get rid of things that don't fit me anymore.
Why is it so hard to let go? Because I'm the same issues.
There was still a few that I still held on to. I don't know
Right?
why. I'm like, I'm saving this for my future child. My freaking jean jacket I used to wear in high school.
Hey, I mean, I guess that's one of the items that have never gone out of fashion, so that's pretty safe.
I mean, it doesn't fit me anymore, but maybe it'll fit my future child. So, yeah, I was doing that this morning, and then I got rid of 2 huge bags of clothes,
Nice.
which felt good, and finally had to let go of some items that I've been holding on to for way too long. But I bet it'll feel good, because then they won't be staring me in the face anymore, like, hey, you can't fit me anymore.
Right, totally. And then now there you have like more room to find things.
Yeah, and more room to buy more things.
Exactly. That's exactly why I empty out my closet, because I usually just did a huge online order and I'm like,
Yep.
uh-oh, I gotta make room.
I don't have any more hangers. Yeah.
I just got rid of some big bags too, so that was kind of nice to drop off.
Yeah, I'm
Donate.
going to go to the Goodwill, but nice and sweaty from that, and yeah, feeling good. There's some nice room in my closet now.
Good. Spring cleaning. Love
Yeah.
it. Do it. Cherish it.
You got to do it. I didn't do the Marie Kondo. I forgot to thank all of my things for serving me. I just put them in a bag. Sorry, clothes. Maybe before they leave.
Just say your goodbyes out loud.
Thank you for your service. What about you? What made you anxious or afraid?
So my impending back to work date is just really creeping up on me.
It really is.
And I'm really sad.
It's not next week, is it?
No, I have 1 week left. Next Monday. I don't have many days left.
Oh,
And I
God.
don't like it. It's going to be another huge transition. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. I'm probably going to cry because I'm a mom now and I just don't like change and it's hard and I'll miss my baby and that's just going to be crazy. And not only that, we've been working at home for 2 years.
Right.
And now all of a sudden they're trying to change that because like, hey, back to normal life. Remember 3 years ago?
No.
I'm like, everything's changed. But yeah, so we're going to be like in a hybrid situation, which I guess isn't the worst, but it also isn't the best.
Yeah, so we're like partial work from home with
Yeah.
the majority still being in office. But we'll be
Yeah.
together for some of that, so that's nice.
I'm trying to think of it as like, it'll be good to get out of the house, especially during this like nice weather time.
To be honest, I actually have been enjoying driving, like
Having that time.
yeah, having that time, like singing in my car.
Yeah.
It's kind of de-stressing, which I almost never drive anymore.
I know, that's very true. I'm the same way where I like blast my music because I need to have that time to
Yeah.
like unwind or somehow.
And it's kind of nice for the change of scene, I guess, like, because the new building has so much, like, nature around it.
Yeah, it's in a really pretty area. That's true.
So that helps.
Yeah, I guess I'll start walking more. I have to move my body. It's wrecked.
Yeah, I've definitely burned more calories being at the office just because the building is huge. So just to get to
Anywhere.
our section, it's a workout.
Yeah, right? Seriously.
Especially if you take the stairs. I did that and then found out how out of shape I was. I was like breathing so fucking hard.
When we got that tour, I was like really hella pregnant, and like Norm was trying to give me the tour.
Oh, God.
I might have to take out his name, I'm not sure, but
Oh, it's fine. He's our boss and he's got 6-foot legs.
he does. He's so tall and he runs and he's like, la la la, I can go so fast. And I'm like, not only am I slower than you, Norm, I'm also pregnant. And he's like, can you take the stairs? I'm like, as long as we're going down the stairs, I cannot go up the stairs. He's like, okay.
Unless you want to carry me,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen.
Like, I'm already out of breath. I already want to go.
Yep.
It was rough. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I do miss you at work, so it'll be nice to have you back, but I
Yeah.
totally understand the apprehension.
Yeah. It's mixed feelings.
Yeah. I mean, it was my first week back this week.
That's right, because you talked about going back too. So how's that been?
It's fine.
It's fine. It's just fine. Everything's just fine.
You know, and my bathroom isn't 2 feet away, so I hate that.
See, I'm going to have a hard time getting dressed, getting up earlier, putting on
Getting
makeup.
up. Oh, I put on very minimal makeup.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I feel like I used to actually put on a good amount of makeup.
I used to be like kind of beat.
Yeah, like kind of
Every day.
almost full face. And I'm like, no.
And now I'm like lucky if I put mascara on my lashes.
Right? I'm like, you got some mascara and a tiny bit of eyeliner and some blush.
Wow, I won't even do eyeliner ever. I haven't done eyeliner in years.
Well, now I like to tight line, so it's not
Wow,
as...
ballsy. I don't do that I don't mess with my eyes very much anymore.
Really?
I just do mascara and shadow
Tight line's not too
if
bad.
I do shadow.
I guess you're freaked out about putting stuff near your eye, though.
I am. I water too easily.
That's true.
Yeah.
Michael couldn't watch me. He'd probably pass out.
I do miss like a good sharp wing though. I used to like rock that in high school, and now I'm just like afraid to attempt it.
Right? It's been so long. I'm all rusty. You'd look all whack. Look like, I don't know.
An owl, a raccoon.
I was trying to remember her name. Amy. Oh, Amy Winehouse. I'd do that.
Oh yeah, those wings.
2 foot.
Trying
eyeliner.
to fly with those wings. Okay, you're still telling us the story. Thank you, Abby.
Here I am. Oh, I was going to say really quick.
Oh.
My mom texted me about the
Oh yeah.
Diane Downs case, which we got a ton of listeners in Oregon on that one, which no surprise there.
It's our biggest one, I think.
Yeah. But she was like, "Hey, do you remember that your grandparents lived only a couple miles away from where that happened?" And I was like, "Oh shit. I totally
Dang.
forgot." Like we used to ride bikes on Marcola and on that
Like
road.
on that same road.
Not on that exact road, but the one that is like right next to it.
Oof.
It is so creepy.
That's eerie.
Yeah. Home connections. But today we're not going to do a child murder, so
Thank you. I think other people will thank you.
yes. So welcome to episode 96.
Wow.
Which is dangerously close to 100.
Whoa.
So last week was pretty rough, but yeah, this week will be not so rough. And it's been a while since I've done one of these, but what do we know that I love so much?
You love old
Yeah.
history stuff.
You love old.
You love old shit.
I do love old. This isn't too old.
Okay, you love a lot of things.
I know. Okay. I love stories about weird rain.
Yeah! Oh, how is there more? But yes! Wait, we've had two. We've had turkey and we have globs, right?
Yeah.
Turkey.
Turkey.
I think I just decided it was turkey meat.
Turkey specifically. I don't even know if they found out what kind of meat it was.
No, because wasn't that...
We were thinking about vultures or like vulture vomit, I think was like
Yeah.
a theory. But yes, they said whether it be meat falling from the sky or strange blobs, I love a good rain mystery.
Yes!
And I'm just honestly shocked that there was another one.
I guess never mind. In case you do it.
Okay. Okay, so today's story will be about a dude who was actually named the Rain Man.
But, okay.
Have you heard of this one?
No.
Okay, it's kind of obscure. I don't think
He's
I'd
called
heard
the
of it.
Rain Man.
The Rain Man, but not because he's good with numbers or whatever.
I was going to say no relation to the movie,
No,
right?
no, nothing like that. Literally rain. So,
Okay.
so for my main source for today's episode, I first learned of this story on an old episode of Unsolved Mysteries, my
Love
baby
it.
fave. And I think we're going to have some fun with this one. So
I'm
strap in
stoked.
for a rainy good time.
What the fuck comes out of the fucking sky?
It's actually just rain this time, but
How did you do an episode on just rain? We're going to learn about climate and weather.
as we live in a rainy state, you're going to love this.
Okay.
Okay, so our story begins on February 24th, 1983 in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
A 21-year-old man named Don Decker was attending the funeral of his grandfather, James, I'm not sure if it's Kishow or Kissow. Kishow? Okay. So Decker had actually been serving time at the county jail for the crime of receiving stolen property, but he had been granted a furlough in order to attend the service and be with his family.
Mm-hmm.
At the funeral, Don was struggling with his emotions. The rest of the family didn't know it, but Don's grandfather had actually abused him when he was young, like only 7 years old.
Oh, I didn't tell anybody.
No, he never told his family about it. So I'm sure it was super hard for him to like watch the rest of his family grieve a man that he considered to be a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
So after the funeral, Don continued to have an uneasy feeling, unable to shake the powerful emotions he had felt during the funeral. And I guess he was in a very chill prison because they didn't take him back into custody that night. They actually gave him a full week out.
Whoa, week vacation out of prison.
I know.
What?
I didn't know that was like
A thing?
a thing. You just take a week off.
I mean, I guess he wasn't that serious of a crime.
Yeah, it's not like he was there for murder or something.
Yeah.
But
That'd be outrageous.
I would guess like a day or two, but yeah, he got a full week. So he decided to stay with his friends Bob and Jeannie Kiefer at their house. So they arrived there after the funeral, and Don was still feeling pretty wrapped up in his own head and emotions. So he decided to go to the bathroom to have a moment alone and collect himself. However, once he was in the bathroom, he didn't really feel any better. Quite the opposite. Don described being consumed by his emotions, and then suddenly he felt the temperature plummet in the bathroom. As the room became cold, Don was suddenly struck by a vision. So he saw an old man who resembled his grandfather, but he was wearing a crown. And then he felt a burning on his arm, and when he looked down, he could see 3 angry, bloody scratch marks on his arm.
Okay, so he sees the ghost of his grandfather wearing a crown, and then he gets the 3 scratches on his arm, which is usually like the demonic sign with 3 scratches.
Right. You're going the right direction.
I am?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at you, so
I'm so smart.
professional.
Okay.
After all these episodes, you're like, demon.
Demons.
So when he glanced back up to see the old man in the crown, he saw that he had vanished. It's a little sneaky.
In the bathroom. Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't see him.
Not like in the
anymore.
mirror?
No, I don't know. He just said he had a vision and he just sees this old man in a crown.
Okay.
They never really explained the significance of like
Sure.
who this was or if it was his grandpa or why he was wearing a crown. Just a king.
There's just things you can't explain.
So, unsure of what to really do with this experience, Don decided to leave the bathroom and go back downstairs to join his friends at the dinner table. As he sat there, Don went into a trance-like state and was unable to do anything more than just stare blankly ahead.
Ooh, creepy.
He said he suddenly felt an uneasy chill run through him, and then some truly weird shit started to happen. Water began to drip down from the walls and ceiling, and the room filled with a strange watery mist.
Ew.
Inside. This is weird because it's inside.
Right. Talk about humidity.
Yeah. Who
But yeah,
turned
that's
on the
creepy.
humidifier in here? Everyone just stared in disbelief as it appeared to be raining inside.
This like happened pretty quickly after
He sat down.
this weird experience.
Yeah. So he's in the bathroom, then he comes back downstairs, he sits at the table with everyone else, and then it just starts.
Raining inside.
Yep.
Okay.
Precipitating.
Just in that room that they're in?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, there had to be like a logical solution, right? I mean, it doesn't just
Sprinkler.
rain indoors.
Yeah.
So Bob and Jeannie decide to call their landlord, who was named Ron Van Wy, and told him that he needed to come immediately. They were having an emergency, and it was a little hard to explain over the phone. More of a, you got to see this for yourself kind of situation.
For sure.
So the tenants started putting out buckets to try and collect some of the water, fearing, property damage. And then pretty soon, Ron and his wife, Romaine, showed up at the property. But as soon as they stepped into the house, they were just as baffled as everyone else, as they saw the water dripping down the walls and the ceiling.
And it was definitely water.
Yes.
Huh. Okay.
So Ron was especially bewildered as he explained there was no plumbing running through that section of the house, above or below them. So it couldn't have been from like a
broken pipes.
ruptured pipe or anything like that.
Okay.
It was also very strange that the water seemed to be isolated to just that room. When the landlord moved into a different room, he noted it was completely dry, no drips or mist to be seen.
Okay.
As they continued to stare and study the unexplained water, Ron also noted that the water droplets were not behaving within the laws of physics as we know them.
Oh, no.
Some of the water droplets would shoot up through the floor to the ceiling.
No.
Some would rocket horizontally across the room. It made no logical sense. Like, what do you do with that situation?
That is so strange. Does he walk into another room? Does it follow him? I have so many questions.
No, it is. I mean, I guess because he's staying in that room, it just stays in that room where he's at.
Weird.
He seems to still be in this like trance-like state. He's just like,
Oh, he's still staring off in the corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Creepy.
So they don't really know like what they're supposed to do, and they decide to call the police. Which I'm not sure if I would call the cops.
No, no.
I'd be too embarrassed.
Also that, yes.
Like, what do you say on the phone? I have demonic water. Someone help me.
You have demonic rain in my living room?
Could you come arrest this water, please?
It's raining upwards. You'll see it.
It's raining upwards. Come shoot this mist. I don't know. So either way, the police were called, and a couple of officers named Richard Wolbert and John Buhan were dispatched to the scene. And so I'm guessing it was a slow crime night that evening. So Officer Wolbert met the landlord outside of the home. And I guess he hadn't really been apprised of the situation because the landlord told him, quote, "I just want you to walk into the house." And the officer said, "I'm not walking into the house unless you explain to me what I'm walking into." Just fair.
Yeah.
And Ron says, Trust me, just walk into the house."
I don't know if I trust you.
I am a police officer.
Right?
It goes against everything I've been told. So, not sure that I would have just walked in there based on that explanation if I was a cop. But he surprisingly does, as Ron asks, with Ron following closely behind. Officer Wilbert didn't make it more than 2 steps into the house before he began getting absolutely pelted with water drops.
Pelted.
Pelted.
Was it? So it was like pouring, like hard.
It's like, well, I don't know if it's like pouring really hard, but it's definitely just like dripping. And then there's all these water drops that are just shooting across the room. So like just getting smacked with a bunch of water.
So weird. Invisible, like ghost squirt guns.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Water fight. Let's see. So the officer said, we were standing just inside the front door, and then there's a droplet of water traveling horizontally, and it passed right between us and just traveled out into the next room.
Ew, like the droplet of water was like alive, just walking, but like sliding through.
Yeah, they're just like watching these water drops just like shoot into another room.
This reminds me of like Fantasia and that like Mickey Mouse scene with like the water.
That one stressed me out so much in Fantasia. I don't think there was another storyline in there that gave me more anxiety.
Oh, it was a massive love-hate relationship. I loved most of that movie, but then you have to stop at the end.
I was like, God damn it, Mickey, you're fucking this all up. You had one job, and you just had to go over to that magic book and fuck it all up. I was so pissed. That wizard gave you one job. Although I used to love Fantasia. I've watched it so many times.
I would be down to watch it again.
Yeah, let's watch it.
I love it.
Let's watch 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah, there's 2.
Yeah. So, the officer asked everyone in the room if this was happening anywhere else in the house, and the tenants all replied that no, it only seemed to be happening in this front room. The officer decided to see for himself, and he walked across the room, getting thoroughly wet in the process. As he entered the adjoining room, he said he felt the hair stand up on the back of his neck as he walked into the perfectly dry and normal space.
That's very weird.
It's eerie. It's so eerie. Yeah, so there's no zooming water droplets. Nothing's leaking from the walls or ceiling. The officers were at a total loss. Clearly, they were witnessing something very unusual and nothing like, anything they had ever seen before in their careers. They ultimately decided to leave and file a report with the police chief, not really sure of what else they could do.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want us to do?
Exactly.
As for the occupants of the house, Don, Bob, and Jeannie decided to walk across the street to a pizzeria to regroup and maybe eat some food that wasn't soggy. The landlord and his wife stayed behind to continue monitoring the house. After Don and the others had left the house, however, all of the mysterious rain stopped falling.
He left.
Yeah.
So it stopped.
Yep. All dried up.
I kind of picture him with like this dark rain cloud over him and it just follows him.
It's just like a little Eeyore of a man.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. So wait, where did he leave to?
They left the house to go to this pizza place across the street.
Oh yeah, let's get some some za. That's
Some za. Okay.
I've never said that in my life. I'm very embarrassed. That's what the kids said.
It didn't sound good coming out of your mouth.
No.
Yeah, they went to get some za across the street.
Where is that from? What is that? Like, isn't that like a Paul Rudd movie though?
Za. I don't know. It almost reminded me of what's that Disney movie with the pizza that's so good looking?
The Goofy movie.
The Goofy movie.
Ah, yeah.
You know exactly what I was talking about.
And the cheese.
And the cheese, the way it pulls. Okay. Yes, they're like, let's go get some za. And they go to this pizzeria.
Okay. Did the pizza get soggy?
I can't tell you yet.
Okay.
Okay, so the landlord and his wife decided in that moment that it had to be either one of their tenants or their friend Don who was causing all the water with some kind of sick prank or something.
Uh-huh.
Back at the pizzeria, the owner of the establishment, Pam Scrofano, watched as the group walked in. She noted that Don seemed to be really out of it. She described him as walking in like a zombie.
Did they dry off?
They didn't say.
Because I also picture him like constantly drenched
They're all
and
just
sweaty.
like, dripping. They didn't say. Maybe they toweled off before they went over. So by now, Pam had heard about the mysterious rain and had decided that Dawn must be possessed by some kind of evil demonic force. I don't know if that's where my mind would immediately jump to, but
Yeah.
demon rain.
So this is like some random dude in jail on vacation for a week, and then his grandfather dies, and then it scratches him, and then it rains because of him.
I guess.
What a story.
Doesn't make a lot of sense, but this is what's happening.
Oh, I'm having a great time. Continue.
Yay. It is. I haven't come up with a new rendition of my rain song. I'll think about
you
it.
had a rain song?
Yeah, because what was it last time?
I forgot it.
Based on it was like Carno rain for the meat.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember
We
the
did like
blob.
a Prince thing.
I guess it would be like paranormal rain, paranormal rain. So, as they sat together at the pizza place, not Jeannie, but the restaurant owner was talking. She was like sitting with these guys and talking to them, and she was like, "You guys need to call a church to fix Don. Like, he needs some help."
For sure.
So they're still just talking, and all of a sudden, they begin to feel water droplets hit their head and shoulders.
They're still at the pizzeria,
They're
right?
at the pizzeria inside.
And there's people there.
Yeah, there's people there. And Pam's there, the owner. And it's raining inside again. So the water was splashing onto the table, onto the floor. Pam freaked out. She jumped up from the table and she ran over to her cash register where she apparently kept a crucifix, in case of demonic
Super
emergencies.
chill, yeah. You never know.
It's like behind glass and she has to like smash it in case of emergencies. In case of demons, smash. So she grabs the cross and rushed back over to Don, where she placed the crucifix against his skin. And he reacted immediately, jumping back, exclaiming that it had burned him. Mm-hmm. And the group watched in horror as they witnessed the crucifix turn black.
Ew.
That's gross, right? I don't like that. Unsure of what else to do, Bob and Jeannie took Don from the pizzeria and walked back home. They're like, "We're going to take our soggy friend and get out of here. I'm so sorry.
Our soggy demon friend.
Sorry, we ruined all of your pizza." And as soon as they left the restaurant, the mysterious rain once again stopped falling.
Okay, very bizarre if this is all true.
When the group returned to the house, the landlord's wife accused Don of causing all the trouble, especially after the rain started up again inside the house after Don's arrival. She accused him of putting some kind of prank, or like pulling some kind of prank, and was pissed because all the water was going to damage the home. As she accused him, though, pots and pans sitting on top of the stove in the kitchen began to shake and rattle, and then it seemed like the whole house was shaking. As the ruckus crescendoed, Don was suddenly lifted off the ground, seeming to levitate in midair.
No.
No, thank you. So during an interview on the Unsolved Mysteries, Don explained the moment saying, quote, "I was just like floating. Then it was like a push. It wasn't like someone taking their hand and pushing me. It was like feeling it all over your body at once. I'm a big guy, like I've always been assertive, and that made me feel like a newborn. I'm scared right now just talking about it, really."
So wait, he like levitated and then like
Flew across the room.
Flew across the room.
Yeah.
And like hit himself. Like
Well,
he like
smacked into something.
right.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and people saw this happen.
Weird.
A couple of hours after that incident, police officers Buhan and Wolbert arrived back at the scene with their police chief in tow. As soon as the police chief walked into the room, he started getting pelted with water.
Sorry.
and the saturating mist. But instead of being amazed and horrified by the phenomena, the police chief was annoyed.
It's like for like me and Chad, like the one thing we like hate, is being damp. So like I feel like this guy's like, what's the one thing everyone hates? Being damp. I'm gonna like make everyone damp now wherever I go.
Yep. Everyone's favorite man. So the police chief was annoyed. He was like, "This is a plumbing problem. Why are you dragging me to this house at night? I'm getting soaked by water from probably leaky pipes, like you idiots. Why am I here?" He's not amused or impressed. In an interview, Officer Bujan explained, quote, "When the police chief got to the house, he was pelted with water just as Rich and I were. I got the impression that he was put on the spot, maybe a little bit embarrassed, like we expected something out of him or that he could answer. There was no way to explain what happened. I think he was put in a position where he might have felt a little uncomfortable." So they're like, I think he did know something was going on, but he just felt so weird about it and couldn't explain it. He just got pissed and was like, "This is all fake."
Mm-hmm.
So whatever the case, the police chief told the officers to go back to work and not bother writing a report on the incident. And he didn't want them wasting any more time on it.
Sure.
It's like, oh yeah, Grumpy Gus, come on. It's like raining on their parade.
Nice pun. Love you.
Gotta get one in. Well, luckily for us in this story, the officers decided to ignore their chief. And the next day, 3 police officers showed up at the house to see how things were going. Mm-hmm. Lieutenant John Rundle and Officer Bill Davies entered the home and were surprised to see that things had quieted down quite a bit. But they still had some tests that they wanted to try on Don. The officers placed a paper bag over Don's head and had him put his hands behind his back. Once the officer was satisfied that Don couldn't see what he was about to do, he grabbed a gold crucifix and he placed it in Don's hand, which was still behind his back. Don immediately winced and dropped the crucifix to the floor, exclaiming that it had burned his hand. When Officer Davies reached down to pick it up off the floor, he found that the cross was still hot to the touch.
Ugh.
Which is, yeah, creepy. Immediately after this, Don was once again levitated into the air and then thrown across the room into a wall. The officer said it looked like a bus had hit him.
Yikes.
And it's just wild because, like, these are police officers that are testifying to all of this, too, on the show. It's like they're seasoned police officers.
They're people you trust. They're
Right.
not, yeah, like, wow.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just, like, taking it back a little bit.
Yep.
Here we go.
So the officers rushed over to Don and found that his neck was bleeding. As they inspected the wounds, they found 2 sets of 3 claw marks on either side of Don's throat.
2 sets of 3 claw marks.
Like
yeah.
this.
Okay.
So the officers, they were at a complete loss with what they had just witnessed. Bill Davies said, "I've been a cop for 40 years and I've never seen anything like this. Never.
Wow.
There's always an explanation when something happens. If you got to investigate, you come up with something. This is why it happened. Or for this case, there is no explanation."
Wow.
Yeah, so they're just kind of going around in circles. They don't know what to say or what to do. After this event, the landlord became convinced that the whole thing wasn't actually a hoax, and he went about trying to convince a priest to come to the house and possibly perform an exorcism. He called just about every priest or minister in town, no longer caring if they were Christian or Catholic, but everyone turned him down. I guess they didn't believe him. It's not very nice.
Also, isn't it pretty hard to get a...
An exorcism?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think...
They're, like, kind of, like, sketch about it.
Yeah, and, like, I think they have to be specifically trained in it, and that's, like,
yeah,
very
like only certain
Catholic.
people.
Isn't it Catholic? Very Catholic to do exorcisms.
Yeah.
So, yeah, nobody wanted to help them. But they finally found a Protestant minister who said that she was willing to pray with Don. And she arrived on the 3rd night of the mysterious rain and alleged demonic activity.
So there was no break in it?
Well, they said it had died down sometimes, so I don't think it was fully raining all of the time, but it was still, it would still show back up and start raining randomly.
Okay.
So the minister began to pray over Don, and as she did so, he began to shake and convulse. He eventually pulled himself into a tight ball, but as she continued to pray over him, Don's body seemed to finally relax, and everyone in the room felt a shift in the energy around the house. Eventually, the dripping water stopped altogether, and the minister concluded her prayers and left. It would never rain in that house again, and everyone celebrated, believing Don to be cured of whatever was possessing him.
So many questions. Okay.
I wish I had more answers for you, whatever your questions are going to be, but there just was not a lot on
I mean,
this
I know
case.
you're not going to be able to answer, but, like, why the fuck would a demon want to just, like, rain?
Make it rain?
Like,
Make it rain! I don't know.
it's so weird and random.
Because it's so inconvenient? I don't know.
What a good mixture of, like, both worlds, though, of, like, mystery rain and, like, a haunted demonic story.
Right, but our story's not over yet.
Okay.
So, sadly, the reprieve was short-lived. After a few days, Don's furlough from the prison was over, and he had to return to carry out the rest of his sentence. After a few days back in his max security cell with another inmate, Don began to ponder his previous rain abilities. He sat in his cell and wondered if he could make it rain before.
Make it rain.
Could he make it rain again?
But like in dollar bills.
Yeah, but no. Just regular rain. As he thought about this, Don watched the concrete floor begin to saturate with water. It was coming up through the floor.
Ew, so like now he's sitting down. He's like, I wonder if I actually have control of this thing. And now he's like manifesting it and like bringing it. in the
Apparently,
cell.
as he's like staring at the floor and he's just watching water come up through the floor.
Ew.
And then it began to drip from the walls and the ceiling just as it had done before.
Ew.
Don was like, I basically have powers. Can
What
make
a
it rain, bitch.
Stupid power.
What a useless one, like inside too. Like, I have the ability to cause water damage.
I'm telling you, if you hate people, make them damp.
Everyone's going to be so uncomfortable. So a guard walked over to the cell and became irritated with Don after he saw all of the water in the cell. And I bet his cellmate wasn't thrilled either. He's like, what the fuck, dude?
Weird.
So the guard suspected that Don had taken water from the toilet or the sink and just like splashed it around his cell as a prank. And he didn't have time for Don's explanation of his newly found special abilities. Mm-hmm. The guard sarcastically told him, oh yeah, well, if you're so special, why don't you make it rain in the warden's office? And then Don was like, soggy challenge accepted, sir.
Soggy challenge. No. Okay.
Meanwhile, the warden, who was named Dave Keenhold, was just minding his own business, writing up reports in his office, completely unaware of the rain challenge.
That's like a TikTok challenge. The rain challenge.
The rain challenge. Make it happen. At about 8 p.m., the guard walked into the warden's office to tell him what had happened with Don Decker. The guard immediately noticed a large wet spot on the front of the warden's shirt, measuring at about 4 inches long and 2 inches wide. The warden had absolutely no idea where the wet spot had come from or how it had saturated his shirt without him knowing about it.
Okay.
So it wasn't like Don had made it rain in the office, but they still had a hard time coming up with an explanation as to why he had this giant ass wet spot on his shirt.
Okay, and it wasn't like a sweat or anything.
No, I mean, it was just like right on his sternum, like right up here on the front. And he was just sitting there doing paperwork. And he's like, I know, what, why am I wet all of a sudden? He didn't know why. Feeling a bit shaken, the warden decided to call in a priest. Reverend William S. Blackburn was called to the prison to pray over Don. Blackburn described Don as being quiet and mild-mannered. Certainly nothing like the raving antics of a person usually suspected of being possessed. Mm-hmm. The pair began to talk about Don's past experiences over the last several days, and Don described to him how he seemed to have the ability to make it rain indoors, and that a crucifix had burned his skin. The Reverend was fairly skeptical about these claims and told Don that things would be a lot easier for him if he just admitted he was lying and stopped all of this nonsense.
Sure, yeah.
Well, Don, or perhaps whatever was possessing Don, didn't like that answer. The Reverend was interviewed on Unsolved Mysteries, saying, quote, all of a sudden, his demeanor changed, and the smell came into the room. Nurses and doctors, medical people, say when you walk into a room where someone is dying with cancer or something, usually there's a smell.
Aww.
You can tell when you walk into the room. I smelled a smell like that, multiplied 5 times at least. Evil, foreboding. He raised his hand, talking about Don, and rubbed his fingers together. And all of a sudden, it started to rain.
No.
It was like the devil's rain. It was a mist. I was in the presence of evil. I opened up the Bible and started to read to him, but the pages never got wet. So help me, it was a frightening thing. He said, I think I was praying for me more than him. I prayed, and it was only a brief period, and then the rain stopped. But it was really weird because he said his hands were getting wet, but the pages of the Bible weren't getting wet.
But that's weird. Why would it protect the Bible if it's a demon?
I don't know, because it's the Bible, and it's too
strong.
God. It's too God. It's too God. God doesn't like to get wet.
Nobody likes to get wet. Especially this fucking mist. I hate when it's misty outside.
I know.
It's either rain or don't rain. Like, I can't,
mind.
my hair can't deal with the mist.
Yeah, so Priest is freaked out. It's all misty up in there, but then it stops after he prays over him. Don Decker's body finally relaxed, and he began to cry with relief when the rain stopped. He hugged the Reverend and knew that his strange ordeal was finally over. Don was quoted in an interview saying, "Well, it's over. It hasn't happened again. Basically, I'm just hoping that it never will. And I just, go day by day. And as for my grandfather, I think what had happened was his doing. Because he abused me when I was young, he got the chance to abuse me again."
That's sad.
I know. But I guess, he did see the imagery of like an old man that looked like his grandpa in the beginning. So
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, just like that, the mysterious rain phenomenon never happened to Don Decker again. And there have, of course, been people who have tried to debunk the story, with some saying that there must have been like some snowpack on the roof of the house that caused leaks. But that doesn't explain the strange directions the water was flying in or the multiple locations that it appeared at.
That's true.
Others have argued that if this was such a strange occurrence, why didn't anyone bother to take a photo or document?
But it was early 80s.
It was the 80s, so I'm like, it's not like everyone had a cell phone camera or whatever.
No. Or a disposable camera on hand. That's usually a vacation.
Right. And you probably have to be rich to afford like a camcorder or something back then. So
Yeah.
that kind of makes sense to me that they didn't have photos of it. But
Yeah, no way.
Everyone's like, why is there not a single photo of this happening? But yeah, there's also well-seasoned police officers testifying to the truth of the event. And like, why would they lie about something so weird?
Yeah.
There was 9 eyewitnesses in total, and they swore up and down about what they had seen.
And they're cops.
A lot of them were cops.
Hello, the priest is going to go to hell if they're lying. So why would they do that?
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, he of all people knows about the truth.
Got him.
Got him. Yeah, so 9 eyewitnesses.
9. Okay.
And there was, 3 different locations. I happened at different
That's crazy.
times.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's hard to explain.
And like, what do they gain from admitting that happened? Like,
Yeah, there's no like movie, there's no book. Like,
no, this is very little known.
You're making me believe, Abby.
It's weird.
No.
And I couldn't find any convincing arguments against the story that really checks all the
so
boxes.
random.
So if you just chalk it up to paranormal phenomena, I guess that we'll never have answers for.
Whoa.
In more recent news, Don was ironically arrested after he turned himself in on charges of arson in 2012.
Oh, so he didn't like the rain. He was like, I need fire.
Yeah. He had been hired by a restaurant owner to burn the place down. I'm guessing for like insurance money. Yeah, so
Wow, what a life.
he's seen fire and he's seen rain. And that's the end. That's
Wow.
all I got.
No, what a fantastically weird, enjoyable story.
Isn't it weird?
That's really weird.
I just thought that was a nice little weird one we could all enjoy together.
Now I'm torn because like the whole time I'm like, this is fucking stupid and hilarious. And then I'm like, wait, I believe now. I don't know what I feel.
But I know, I'm like, I'm always very skeptical about like demonic anything really.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really religious, but like, it's a
The
weird.
9 witnesses in the different locations though.
I like how at the end he had like a whole like move where he like rubbed his fingers together.
Oh, I know, like he's like, oh yeah.
He didn't do that before, but at the very end he's just like, he doesn't say anything, he's just rubbing his fingers together. He's like, I'm gonna put some pageantry into it this time.
Wow. Okay. Well, great job. Super weird.
Maybe someday I'll find another weird rain story.
I'm sure there's more.
I bet.
Isn't there raining fish? Like, isn't there?
Oh,
like,
there's definitely
toxic
like
rain, and,
raining fish stories, but those are usually largely explained.
Still though, it's still weird.
It is still weird. It's a weird phenomenon. Yeah, that's all I got.
Good job. Love you.
Love
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Maybe next week I'll do something more fucked up. Just swinging wildly from one to the other.
One extreme. Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool beans. Thank you. What's
welcome.
up? What's up next? What do we do now?
I know this is like a short episode, so we have all of this time we're usually filling with a million words that I wrote. But normally I think we go to City of the Week.
Let's do it.
City
that goes to Brooklyn, New York again.
What? Brooklyn.
What? Who are you? What are you doing listening to us?
Love it.
Thank you. And also, I guess second place, since we had Brooklyn last time, is our own Portland.
Hey, Portland.
We love Portland.
Man, when Michael and I were just talking about wanting to go to Portland and eat some good fucking food.
Yeah, a good day trip to Portland is fun.
Man, I just want to go
Eat
shove
everything.
food in my face.
Yes, they have good stuff.
They have such good stuff. As for things that we're watching or listening to, Michael and I have been watching this show called The Expanse quite a bit.
What's that?
It's like a sci-fi show, space.
Love space.
Except for it's like all of the space anxieties that I have that would make me never want
Floating
to
away in
travel.
space.
Ugh, I can't handle floating away in space.
Exploding in space.
Exploding in space, people get, the airlock treatment where they just get blasted out into space, which is like, I can't.
No, thank you.
That I get like weirdly claustrophobic. What's the opposite of that? When it's just too much space.
Too much space?
It's not agoraphobic. I don't know. It's
I'm
like
sure it's a phobia.
I know there's a name for it, but it's just like the thought of just all of that nothingness.
Isn't that like how you feel like with the like looking at the beach or the ocean, like it's so vast?
Oh yeah, or like when you're in like deep water.
yeah.
Ugh.
Ooh,
That really
weird.
freaks me out too. I cannot handle
That is kind of
being
eerie if
when
you really let
can't
it
see.
sink in. Even though I do love that part when I look at the beach, but I'm safely on land.
Oh, if I'm on land, it's totally fine.
Oh, it's, like,
if I'm
therapeutic.
swimming in it,
Oh, no, thank you.
and you can't see below your feet because it's just dark. Ugh.
No, it's terrible. Girl, I'm telling you, I had another apocalyptic dream. I was telling her
God.
I had a tsunami dream where a whale was swimming right to our hotel building and ate a child.
Oh god.
And then I had another one I don't remember. And then this one, they always seem to be like we're against a wall or a building, so we can't go anywhere.
Oh,
and like
God.
the water's rushing to us. So
No
like
escape.
So it's always like that feeling that that's the dream. And then this time there was sharks underneath
No.
us, and we were trying to tell people, get your feet up, get your feet up. And it was terrifying. They were black sharks.
Oh.
I'm having crazy dreams.
I used to have the end of the world dreams. Now you're having all of the end
It's
of the
been
world
like
dreams.
over a decade, and now I have had like 3.
Start journaling them.
I should, since they're getting really weird, but they're always like ocean themed and like animal eating.
Great. I've just been having like hyper violent dreams with, just people doing horrible things. So I think I would go for
That's
like
more realistic.
I would love to have an animal mauling dream at this point.
So random that it's like a whale or shark, though.
Yeah. I mean,
I did see a recent video on Facebook where somebody actually got swallowed up by a whale.
stop. No,
Do you
Jonah.
not- it was like they're like kayaking, and it just randomly.
Did they live?
I think so, but like it's still absolutely terrifying to actually see a human being go into the whale or in the mouth of a whale.
That's terrifying.
What if they actually swallowed it?
I mean,
What if you're swallowed whole in a whale?
it'd be like a real Pinocchio situation.
Yeah, I think I have some issues maybe. I remember watching Pinocchio a lot.
Why? That's the worst Disney movie.
And Dumbo, I would
Oh
cry.
my god, why are you so fucked up? I watched those once and I was like, never again. These are
I would
terrible.
cry. I remember crying. I was
Pinocchio is so fucked up. There's like donkeys. The boys get turned into donkeys.
right. And it's very dark.
And
That
they're
movie's
smoky?
very dark. They're smoky.
Did you find it, Michael?
What?
I thought you were Googling the term that I was
Oh,
talking about.
agoraphobia can be a fear of open spaces.
It's agoraphobia.
Okay. I thought that was just like leaving your house.
And then thalassophobia is the one for deep water.
Thalassophobia.
Specifically for deep water.
Totally have that. Oh, we've also been watching Somebody Feed Phil. I don't know if you've watched that. It's the most
good.
delightful
Is it?
show. You need to watch it. There's like a few seasons now, so you can binge it. That's the reason like Michael and I wanted to go to Thailand so badly, because they made it look so amazing in the food. And now I just want to go to Oaxaca and like all of these places, because he just makes it, and he's just such a
He's delightful.
delightful little human being. He's so
Oh.
funny and kind, and
Okay.
he just gives you like faith in humanity.
Oh, okay. That sounds nice.
But watch it while you're full, because it's torture if you're
it
not.
sounds like torture already. Like
Yeah.
I'm already sad and jealous. I won't live that life.
Yeah, because
and
he's
eat that
just
food.
eating all of the best food you've ever seen. And I'm like, give me some of that.
How do you get that job? I
Yeah.
want to get that job.
So we were eating like Arby's.
That's
I was like, this is not the same.
I know. I think we were like forever ago watching Anthony Bourdain, and I was like making rice-a-roni at the time, and I'm like, I feel so poor and sad, and I hate it.
I am not Anthony Bourdain. Do you have anything you've been watching or listening to? Those are my suggestions.
Nah, I mean, I've been consumed by this trial. I have that personality where I can't stop.
Oh, the Johnny Depp Amber Heard.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for that shit to be over.
Me too. It's not like it's exhausting for me too, but I have to because if I miss something, I will be upset.
I'm just like, why is this dominating my newsfeed? It is all that is on my newsfeed.
Other people are obsessed too.
War going on.
I know there's so many other things. Maybe that's why I don't want to focus on the real things in the world. So I'm like, oh my gosh, the Johnny Depp
This
thing.
like circus of a trial that's happening.
Yeah, Chad makes fun of me a lot. He's like, how can you still be watching that? I'm like, I don't know. But I
a problem.
It's over now. I'm like watching the end of it. But I'm like, just leave me alone so I can finish it.
Because they're just like deliberating now, right? So the verdict hasn't come in yet.
Yeah, it's like it's the end of it. I'm just finishing up listening to the ending statements, but that's what I've been watching. Super nerdy, I know, but I can't help it. And then besides that, we would started Arrested Development again because
great
that's
show.
always funny.
It's a good one.
He's still putting on King of the Hill, so that's good to
Murderville.
have.
Oh yeah,
Murderville. Did you watch it?
We did.
Did you love it?
Yes.
Was it the one with Conan the bed?
The one with Conan was probably one of my faves. So you watched the whole thing?
Yes.
Okay, everyone watched Murderville. It's just like fucking hilarious.
So funny.
It's just people improvising their way through like a murder.
Right. It's structured, but the person, the comedian
guest.
or whatever, the guest solving the case has no script. And so it's all ad-libbed. It's hilarious.
It's really funny.
Netflix, check it out.
Yeah. Conan's
I'm glad you watched
episode
that.
is so good.
Yeah, it's the first one too. So it really gets,
Sorry, you mentioned Arrested Development. I remembered.
Oh yeah, because
Job.
Yeah.
Job.
Will Arnett. He's a man.
He's a man.
his voice.
He does
cracks me up.
illusions, Michael.
Okay, we've gone on quite a few tangents.
I guess we'll get the fuck out of here. So, hey guys, bye. Okay, for my sources, I watched an episode of Unsolved Mysteries. I went to mysteriesrunsolved.com. This is my horror.wordpress.com and WNEP.com. Our music is by Broke for Free and Matt Edwards, and we are edited by Michael.
All right. Should I list our social needs?
Please do.
We have a lot of our things at Anxious and Afraid the Pod. So that's our handle for both of our Facebook page and group, along with our Instagram and Gmail.
We have a Twitter at AA the Pod.
You can support us on patreon.com/anxious and afraid.
If you do that, you get some pretty nice perks. You get ad-free episodes that are released a whole day early, and you get a free sticker.
You can also support us for free if you can't do any of that by leaving a rate review. You subscribe to the show, tell your friends.
Yeah, we would appreciate all of it. Do it right now.